In the Pits is sponsored by Hustletown Paintball. Hustletown is a brand by Jason Tinsley of Houston that is all about representing Houston paintball and highlighting its local talent. Head to hustletownpaintball.net to browse their selection of casual wear and use code PIT10 for 10% off of your order. In the Pits is partnered with Compete. Compete is a Texas-based brand by Jell Stewart of professional team AC Diesel that provides custom jerseys, pants, headbands, straps, tech shirts, and any other soft goods to help individuals and teams compete at the highest level. Support Texas Paintball and message Compete on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits Podcast for 10% off your entire order. In the Pits is sponsored by FUAthletics, created with a purpose and focused on building a better you. We are a brand that matters in your workout, and every purchase gives back to cancer research. Go to thefuathletics.com and use code INTHEPITS25 for 25% off of your order. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot now offers first-in-line photo and video editing, 20% off Get Dat Shot merch, and 20% off prints to all teams that wear the Get Dat Shot logo on their jersey. Message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram to become a Get Dat Shot program team. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message @PaintballKumite on Instagram. Welcome, everybody, to episode 37 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and a new special guest. I'm Christian Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans, and this episode, we are going in the pits with Brittney Vang, player and captain for Dallas Vibe. Brittney, how are you doing this evening?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. Good to have you on. Looking forward to doing this episode. You're actually my second WNXL player that I've had on the show. I had Haley on, I think, episode 8, pretty early on. So excited to get more WNXL pros on the show.
Nice. Yeah, I love Haley.
All right, so let's get started. So for those listening that maybe don't know about you personally, how long have you been involved in the Texas paintball scene?
So I moved here with my then boyfriend, Ben Challenger, in 2020. So that's when I really got involved with the Texas paintball scene. But in 2019 is when I started, learning more about paintball and traveling to events. But that was back in California.
Got it. So, what year was it that you ended up actually joining the team?
So I joined Dallas Vibe in 2021.
Got it. Okay. Are there any other teams that you've either played with or been around during that time?
Yeah, so I actually played my first tournament with Paintball Ladies in the summer of 2021. And from there, I kind of just played with some of my friends, just some small 3-mans just to get more experience. And then kind of, I think, towards Chicago-ish is when WNXL started, and there was talks and everything, and that's kind of when Dallas Vibe started, and then I was able to join Dallas Vibe from there.
Cool. So, I know you said you started becoming a little bit more familiar with paintball, before then. Tell us about that story, like how you first got involved, and also like what made you want to start playing.
So when I first met Ben in 2019, he was playing on Sacramento's DMG's semi-pro team. I didn't really know what paintball was, but I decided to tag along after like 9 or 10 months. So I actually went to NXL Chicago, and that was really fun. I met a lot of people and made some great friends. And from there, we actually moved to Texas, went to Paintball Fet, met some awesome people there, and just good vibes all around, and they really helped me, pick up a marker and get on the field. They're very supportive in any kind of gear that I needed just to get started. But what really kind of kicked it off and got me going and was just playing with Paintball Ladies, getting that first tournament experience. That's really where I caught the bug. So really shout out to Paintball Ladies for giving me that opportunity. It was really unexpected. I got called the night before from my friend Monty. She plays on Fens. But yeah, Monty just hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to play this tournament tomorrow? And I was like, I haven't been playing for a long time. I play here and there, but sure, why not? So I played with them, and it was great. I think we went to Ocho's, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean, it was great. It was awesome time, great experience. Love all the ladies on that team and everyone I got to play with, and that's really what kickstarted it for me. I played a lot of sports growing up and in school, so it was cool to just really get back into that groove of just competition.
For sure. I mean, the aspect of competition is something that you don't really find too much of as an adult. I mean, did you play any sports in high school at all?
Yeah, so I played softball and I played on the track and field team. I ended up being one of the captains there as well. I did a number of things. I did a lot of sprints. I did a lot of jumps. I did pole vault. I did whatever I could to get my team a lot of points so that we could win. But yeah, did a lot of sports.
Cool. So, I mean, after high school, I'm sure that kind of wanting for competition never really goes away. And paintball's really cool because you can bring in all sorts of different people that, all shapes, sizes, fitness level, ability, and anybody can really play. So I know that Ben kind of introduced you to the competitive side of paintball, but what was it that, and this question, by the way, is brought to us by Hustletown Paintball. Head to hustletownpaintball.net, use code PIT10 for 10% off of your order. So what was it that made you eventually want to try out for this new WNXL team, Dallas 5? Was it like an announced process, or was it more of an informal thing where all of the women that were playing around at FIT kind of got together and formed this?
So how it kind of happened is we didn't really have any official tryouts, really because we didn't have a lot of girls at the field already. There was only a small handful of girls that were there consistently, and so the Luke House had reached out to me because I was always there, and so they really took an initiative to really find talent in the local girls that were there and cultivate them into great players, pretty much. And so we're really big on being local and being with the team.
Cool. So tell me more, I guess, about that original roster. How big was it? Were all of those players, were they all part of that inaugural showcase at World Cup 21 with Team Fire, or how did that work exactly at the beginning?
I would say a majority of our original roster and our current roster was on Team Fire. We picked up a couple players that weren't on Fire. So, for example, we had picked up this awesome player, awesome teammate, Ray. We picked her up from Oklahoma, and she's awesome. She drives 3 hours to come hang with us. She's the shit, which is awesome. And we ended up picking up Corinne from Canada. So we've made some changes, but a majority of our original and current roster is the roster that was at Fire. Or that played on Team Fire, sorry.
Gotcha, cool. So tell me a little bit more about that Team Fire experience. I mean, I know for a lot of people, myself included, the WNXL showcase more or less came out of nowhere for World Cup, and suddenly, you have Team Fire and Team Ice playing on center stage at World Cup, where there's, I want to say there was 20 women on each roster, just having this big showcase for what would eventually become the WNXL. So what was that process like was there a selection process? Did you have to try out or anything like that? And then of course, how was the experience itself playing in World Cup?
So don't know exactly how the process happened, but I do know that with the four teams that had played, we're definitely locked in for the creation of the season, which was Vibe, Heroines, Destiny, and Femmes. For sure, those were the four teams that were going to be part of this new league. So I guess they thought it would be cool if we could just showcase, our women and their skills and whatnot. So we had divided just two teams, us Vibe and Heroines versus Femmes and Destiny, just to have some fun, show everybody what we're made of, and get them excited for the next season. So that's pretty much how that went down. I would say, like, for the experience, it was awesome. It was a little nerve-wracking just because, for me personally, I hadn't played at an NXL event, so having to just jump from playing local events to playing World Cup on the pro field and in front of everybody in the grandstands was great. It was a little scary, but it was great, and really, like, it was great just to see all the women that were there. Just to see all your friends, meet new friends, and kind of just have that experience as a whole. And we Vibe worked, we put in a lot of work before we played that event, and and it paid out, and it was great teaming up with Heroines. It was a great experience playing with a bunch of the girls that had brought me into this sport, and a bunch of playing against a bunch of women that had also supported me through this as well.
Yeah, there was I thought the showcase was a lot of fun. I mean, it was not too seriously competitive, which I thought was a good thing. It was more like showcasing all of the different women that were able to come to that event and would eventually like create their own division the following season. And since then, you're seeing kind of the growth of that division of the WNXL. And one thing that Tom Cole had said, I think towards the start of the WNXL's inception, it might have been either in an interview that he gave, like a press conference, or if it was on Spick and Span, I don't remember exactly where it was, but he said his vision was to grow the number of women playing paintball, which, at least the competitive side, the tournament side of paintball, is very male dominated. And part of it was to strengthen their bid because they're trying to get paintball into the 2028 U.S. Olympics, which the United States is hosting. And I think he said something about like the host country gets to put in a couple of their own events, kind of similar to how Japan just put in skating into the Olympics not too long ago. So based off of that, the WNXL was born at the end of 2021, and this upcoming 2 weeks from now, the first event, we've got the division growing to 8 teams. 2 of them just entered this past offseason. I think it's the Gamblers and the Northern Lights that just came in. So how has this whole experience, the first season, and just witnessing this growth been for you, being an original member of the WNXL, playing with Team Fire?
Honestly, it's been great. We started out with 6 teams in the league, and it was just having that repetition of kind of playing the same teams. So it was fun, but just seeing the number of women coming out, and then adding more teams, even at Cup, having that team from Europe and the team from Latin America, having those 2 new teams just play at Cup was awesome. It was great to see new faces and play against new women as well. So I'm really excited to have to see the High Rollers and Northern Lights join into this league, and just have more women in general. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's just been a great experience, just watching and experiencing it from from that NXL kind of just, this is what we got, kind of, sorry, I'm like rambling, but from the beginning to now, it's been great.
I think there's definitely been a lot of growth. I mean, the first showcase, I think, had like around 30 to 35 players competing. I think it was like 20 and 15 on the 2 rosters for Team Fire and Team Ice. And now going into this first event for this year, most of these rosters are full. They have 9 or 10 players. And so you're already seeing that number go from 30 to 35 players to 80 women competing in the WNXL. In addition to there's an amateur
Yeah.
women's division
Yeah.
as well. So I think the number of women have definitely grown in the last 2 years. But where else, like, do you want to see the WNXL grow to in the next couple of years?
Honestly, I really feel like I would like to have more WXL pro teams. I think that would be a great goal to set. I'm not sure how long it would take to do the whole Olympics thing, but when that I feel like when that time comes, it comes. But in the meantime, I would really like to see WNXL just grow, just have more women, and hopefully, with the amateur league coming out, we can bring those teams into the pro league as well. And then from there, then just having more teams join in the amateur league and just kind of have that, kind of have all those numbers of women just playing would be great. Just more.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think the WNXL could get to a point where they have a full 20 teams competing in it?
Shoot, why not?
Love it.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at the chat real quick, as we do have a couple of viewers in here. Ray Burns says, I don't know if B can see this, but don't worry. You're doing great.
Thanks, Ray.
So, along the topic of seeing growth in the WNXL, I know that one thing that Haley talked about during her episode when I had her on all those weeks ago was she would love to see a little bit more support coming from the paintball industry as a whole. So, in your view, in your opinion, what are some of those things that either the industry as a whole or local supporters, or maybe even just the tournament paintball player base should or can be doing to help continue to foster this growth of the women's division?
I totally agree with Haley. I think, first things first, I feel like because paintball is just so male dominant, I know these guys have sisters or girlfriends or cousins or whatnot. Like, bring them to the field, bring women to the field that just have never played before, give them a shot. And then from there, the field should offer all of that support to get them started. So with whatever they need, a marker, a hopper, a mask, a pot pack, whatever, just being supported in that way to kind of get those women onto the field and feel comfortable there as well. And then just with that support from the industries is just being able to have more sponsors for teams as well. I know there's like some teams out there that do need are looking for more sponsorship support as well. And then just having, the paintball community just being more welcoming to new players, women, whenever they step on the field, just being welcoming with open arms.
For sure. And I think, at least in my personal experience watching the things that are going on over at Outlaw and at X Factor, I have seen a few women start to play regularly in the, at least on the speedball fields. I'm not sure if those women have gone on to play any tournaments, but they are stepping on the field with us regularly. And that's, I think, is a really cool thing to see. Just as far as like your approach, it sounds like more just getting them in the door. And I think that historically it's not been as welcoming. I mean, paintball, and that's not just true for female players. I think that's just true for new players in general, where paintball has historically been a tougher sport to get into for the first time until a couple of years ago, when the whole like grow the sport thing started coming around. I think paintball has started to change, but with the WNXL coming around, I think you are starting to see more women step onto the field on the speedball fields. I am also starting to see more women in general play on the rec ball side of things, whether that's because of the massive increase in popularity of 50 cal or whatever it is. It does seem like more women are starting to play.
Yeah, and I've also seen just like some new like women getting out there with videography and photography as well, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, saw that at Outlaw. There's a photographer that we got some pictures from. I think either last year or 2 years ago, and it is cool to see. Just kind of wrapping this section up. Let's see. Do we have any questions from the chat? Nothing so far. Just a reminder for everybody that's here watching live. If you have something that you want to ask Brittney, go ahead and get your questions in, and we'll just get to them throughout the show. So, yeah, it is cool to see the growth. I wonder if other things, like I know that there's the WNXL Pro division, and then there's the amateur division, but there's also, as far as the local scene, you're not really seeing too much. I know players from Vibe hop on to other teams. Like I know you occasionally hop on with TKO. I think there's some other Vibe players that hop on with the different shut up or trying lines, or I think one of your players was hopping on Bandits Buddies for an event or two.
Yeah, we have Bricktown Bucks, all getting their spins.
For sure. What do you think can be done more on like the local side of things?
I would say for the local side, like I said, like I've talked to a lot of guys who are like, how do I get my girlfriend out here? And Vibe is just very open to just having any women that wants to come out can totally just come and literally just hop on a line with us, play with us, get the experience, hang out. And that's kind of how, at least for us locally, that's how we're helping women get in. And already, like we've already worked with so many like amazing women that have just been coming out to the field locally, and just having them play with us, having them learn and be comfortable and being welcoming with them.
For sure. Do you think that as far as let's go a step further and say that we want these newer women getting into playing paintball, that we want them to start playing tournaments like these WNXL players. Do we think on the local side, is there enough of a player base locally, or is there enough interest, or is the path right to create kind of like a separate women's division in these more local scenes? Or do you think that having those female players mix in with the rest of the local teams would be a better option?
I think if we had a lot of women coming out from the field you were mentioning earlier, where a lot of women were starting to come out more, I think if they had traveled to play a local tournament. So, for example, XTPL events at Paintball Fit, they have events where new players can really get in and get that tournament experience. And so with women, a lot of people who've been coming to Fit, we've really been encouraging them to play those tournaments like Mech X Ball or 3v3s, and just giving them that opportunity to have that tournament experience as well, rather than just being like, hey, we'll play this amateur or pro event at this national level. Like having those local tournaments to really get their feet wet really goes a long way.
For sure. And I think, like, I know one player that's local to me anyway, down at Outlaw. Her name's Antini. She played one of the Mech X Ball events recently. It was her first ever tournament, and I want to say she's like in her 50s, and it was her first event playing.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw her playing. I've seen her, kind of like just around, but it was cool to see her actually get in there and play.
For sure. And I think it's a sign that, there is that progress being made. So it would be cool to see where it goes. Hopefully more women continue to start playing, and we have that growth in the player base as a whole. So this next question is brought to us by my friend Thomas over at FUAthletics, who makes athletics wear, and every purchase that you make gives back to cancer research. So go to thefuathletics.com, use code inthepits25 for 25% off of your order. So in your personal playing career, do you have a single favorite moment that you've had so far?
Probably winning the first event I mean, winning that inaugural, match with Fire was awesome. But definitely winning the first event with my core team has been great. It's been a great memory, and we're hoping to recreate that. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, just winning the first ever event, like that's you're the first ever winners of the WNXL, and so that one will always be on the record books. Next question is just trying to get to know you a little bit more, like as a person. Like, so besides paintball, I know we talked like you did like track and volleyball in high school. So what other things do you like to do outside of paintball?
So I'm a really big foodie. Ben's a really big foodie. So outside of paintball, we really like to go out, try new foods, go to maybe a cool brewery, just go sightseeing, exploring the town. And if we're not doing that, we're really just hanging out with our cats. I have a lot of free time as I work from home, so I've just started picking up a hobby making candles, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I would say I just like to have a good time.
For
Good
sure.
experiences, good times. Yeah.
All right. So looking at the chat, you're getting a lot of love. We've got Ray Burns. You got your TKO fam in there as well. And then some other people from Paintball Fit. I always love doing an episode with someone from Paintball Fit because the community always shows up in the chat. It gives loves of support.
Oh, yeah.
Love to see it.
Love Paintball Fit. Love the community. Wouldn't be playing paintball without them, without the Blue Cows. Couldn't do it. Couldn't
sure.
do it. Wouldn't want to play anywhere else.
Oh yeah, Paintball Fit is responsible for so many people getting into the game and supporting them, making sure they stay in the game. They're doing it right for sure.
Oh, yeah,
all right.
for sure.
So speaking of Paintball Fit, your team Dallas Vibe, which is team in the WNXL, y'all play out of Paintball Fit, and we just said y'all won the first ever event at the Sunshine Major last year, but throughout the rest of the season, y'all found that y'all were getting knocked out in semifinals. So I see that on your roster, you've made some changes for the season. You picked up a woman named Katie Heap. You've also picked up, trying to find her again, the girl from Canada that you just picked up, Corinne. So tell me about those two players, and then also tell me about some of the other things that y'all are doing to make sure you come back stronger for this event.
Yeah. So Katie is actually really awesome. She's actually a former pro soccer player. She's played internationally. She's traveled, and she's done the whole thing. And she's just awesome. It's super, super competitive. And she just brings like this level of, I would say, like professionalism to us. And honestly, Katie was one of those women that came out to the field, and we helped her a lot, and she was like, this is awesome, I want to play with you guys. So it's really, it's cool to see Katie just come out and being like, hey, I'm going to try this, to now, she's going to play with us in Florida, which is awesome. I literally can't wait to see, what she does. She's got a lot of potential. And then with Corinne, we did pick her up before Cup last year, and Corinne's awesome. She plays out of Canada, and she just brings, experience to our team. I think she's the highest ranked player on our team as well. But Corinne's just all around just a great time, freaking killer, and I can't wait to play with her some more. We're really glad to have her back. Totally thought we were going to lose her because Northern Lights came out, and she was like, I'm not leaving you guys, and everybody's just super stoked to have her back. So. And from there, just some things that we're working on is just really going back and rewatching your tapes, working on ourselves, and then working together as a team to kind of just really put the puzzle pieces together, so that we can come back stronger than before.
Cool. So yeah, just talking about the two players that you picked up. So talking about Katie, she until this past August had never played a tournament before. I'm looking at her PB Leagues profile. Mm-hmm. She's got XTPL on there in August, and that's it. So, but the fact that
first national event, but she's gonna do great.
Yeah, and the fact that she's no stranger to being a pro athlete. I'm sure is
Yeah.
a huge boost to your roster.
Yeah. It's going to be great just having her on the team and bringing that mentality and that bringing that competitiveness to us, and just having that rub off on us as a team is going to be great.
For sure. All right, and then cool to hear that even though Northern Lights made the pro league, that you're keeping hold of Corinne. Hopefully, you can hold on to her for the whole season. Um, yeah. So talking a little bit more about, like, I know you said like watching tape on yourselves and figuring out what to improve. I'm curious to know the organizational structure of Dallas Vibe. This question is brought to us by Paintball Kumite, which is Colt Roberts' training regimen. So message him at Paintball Kumite on Instagram to sign up for a class. Mention the show for a free 1 hour session. So as far as the structure of Dallas Vibe, like, who are the let's just go like piece by piece here. So first, let's talk about your coaches. So who do you have behind y'all that are supporting y'all as coaches or as player development?
So actually this season we got a new coach, Rich Adkis. Gosh, Rich, I hope I said your name right. But yeah, we have Rich. Rich is awesome, and he's really just been doing a lot already with helping us get prepared for this new season. So, going into our training structure, Rich pretty much has got us this routine warm up that we do before we play, more of that dynamic stretching so that we don't hurt ourselves. And then from there, we're doing drills, we're playing points, we're getting feedback, and a lot of times too, he will, some people live like hours away. Like Ray lives 3 hours away, Leslie, Lauren live 8 hours away. So sometimes they can't be there all the time. And Rich is really great about like sharing film for like from our practices or our drills so that everybody can stay connected. And so far that's just been great. It's been a really, really great few weekends just getting prepared for this event.
Film study is huge. Something that the Texas Titans have been doing for basically since we started out as a team is we film as much as we can. We film our practices, go back and watch tape, point out, hey, this is what, body mechanics or opportunities that you missed or communication, things like that. Watching film on yourself is huge. I always advocate if you have the ability to get a camera out or someone else to film, do it, because just that extra time off the field is, I think the way that I want to say it was Colt Lukow that said it was, hey, if you're putting in that extra time off the field, and it's going to add up, and suddenly if versus someone who's putting 4 hours on the field, if you're doing let's say only 2 or 3 hours on the field, but then you're putting an extra hour every day off the field watching film, studying, things like that, then suddenly you're going to be that many hours ahead of the person that you're playing against, and over time it just builds up.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me a little bit more about Rich. I'm looking at his profile right now. It looks like he's over in the Greed Avarice camp. How did y'all get to connect with him?
So Rich has been at Paintball Fit since, honestly, for a long time. I would say he was there before I got there, and everybody knows Rich. Rich is just awesome, super outgoing, a great guy, and so we've been around Rich for such a long time, and Rich has been really helpful in the last season as well with just pitting and helping Luke House, anything that we need or the Luke House need or Fit needs or anything, really anything. If any friends need anything, Rich is always there for you. Rich is a great human being. Love Rich. So excited to have him.
Cool. Yeah, he's definitely been around a lot. It looks like just either with Shut Up or Trying for a couple of years and then hopping over to Greed and Avarice. So it's cool that he's going to be helping y'all out. Continuing to talk about your structure, what kind of either team practices or individual practice schedules do y'all maintain?
So right now we're starting this new schedule where we are pretty much having a half day or a full day of drills, and then the next day applying those drills and then rewatching it on film to see how we were able to connect those pieces, and then also to make notes about what we want to work on the next weekend within that next set of drills. So really, drills, points, drills, points.
Cool. Was this the schedule that you were maintaining throughout this off season? I mean, today the layout came out earlier today, so the off season's officially over. But what kind of things were you doing since World Cup?
Since World Cup, a lot of us have actually played some tournaments in the off season as well. Some of us played the Star Series, so we played some XTPL events, and then getting back into the groove of things. Like I said, we've just been really playing points, shaking the rust off, and then just honing down on the drills, on our fundamentals, our form, really getting ready for the season, and then applying those drills to our points on Sunday. It's pretty much how our structure has been going in the off season, and it's been great.
Got it. So it sounds like y'all just, no, not really such a thing as an off season here in Texas. Y'all just kept playing.
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, if we're not drilling or playing points, we're playing a lot of local tournaments at FIT. So we're playing, XTPLs, we're playing mech events. We're just, getting as much playtime as we can, just playing with our friends, hanging out, and it's always a good time.
For sure, and I think that's just another reason why Texas teams always come out swinging at these national events. And anytime, I think it was Daniel Gomez who actually teaches a paintball class over at Texas A&M. When I had him on, he said that it used to be that it was kind of like a running joke that how do you know a team is from Texas? They put Texas in their name. But now it's more like, how do you know a team's actually pretty dang good? They got Texas in their name.
Yeah, they're like, oh, a Texas team? Damn.
Yeah, for sure. You're always seeing Texas teams at the top at NXL, and I think we're going to continue seeing that. So kind of finishing up on this subject, who are some of the other supporters that Dallas Vibe has, either lending you their time and experience, or maybe financially, things like that? Who are some of the other supporters that help out Dallas Vibe?
Yeah, I mean, aside from obviously Paintball Fit with just our training facility and awesome resources, Hydra Fit, amazing gear. We've also got great sponsorship from Planet Eclipse, just, getting new CS3s, which is great. And then XTPL events, always awesome, always a good time. We get to play a lot of those local events as well. And another great sponsor for us, Virtue, just giving us amazing gear with masks, pod packs, things like that. And XXV label, Mike Diaz, he just makes awesome apparel for us all the time, which is great. And Mike is amazing. And then from there, we've got the best pods, GXG Sports, Exalt arm pads, which is always amazing, Empire, Best Paint, and CMPT. Shout out to Gel. Love his stuff. Amazing custom jerseys. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the amazing sponsors that we have. And just shout out to the Lucals for making all this possible for us.
For sure. The Lucals are great people for the sport of paintball. Also, shout out to Gel. He's the sponsor of the show. I have speaking of Gel, I have a second round of podcast shirts that are about to close for getting a second order around. So if you are interested in getting a In the Pits tech tee, be sure to message me either on Facebook or Instagram, or you can message the show page. It all goes to the same place if you're interested in ordering one. Separate from that, though, this is not one from Compete. This is actually, I was sent this special custom In the Pits tech tee by Chris Rangel of Under Industries. Complete surprise. I had no idea this was coming. This came in the mail on Monday. It's got the logo on the arm and on the front, and then also kind of a more faded, larger logo on the back. I posted pictures of it on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you, Chris. Huge surprise. It makes me feel more official on this already now that we're 37 weeks in. All right, so thing I wanted to ask you about is the layout. So the layout dropped a couple of hours ago. What are your first impressions looking at it? There's a lot of mess in the center.
I think it's going to be a good mess. It's going to be a lot of fun to play. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch how other teams are going to play it. And I think it's just a great layout for a lot of creative strategies. So I really just can't wait to see how we're going to play it and how everybody else is going to play it. I think it's going to be really fun.
For sure. I think it'll be different. I know a lot of all the Snake players that I've been hearing are complaining.
Yeah.
But should be fine.
Gotta put them on their toes this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of options. Granted, I haven't walked this field at all. Usually I walk it digitally. I just haven't gotten the chance to yet to go on Go Sports. Or, not Go Sports, Guns Up. But, yeah, to me, just looking at this, obviously, it's a mess in the center. Sight blockers everywhere. People are going to be probably making their primaries until someone figures out, what blind shots or what cuts to shoot. But they always do. It should be different, but it should be a fun one for sure.
For sure.
So let's see. Reminder to get your questions in the chat. We're getting to the end of our show. If you have something that you want to ask Brittney, get them in now, and we'll go through the chat one last time at the end. So this question is the one that I ask everybody that comes on the show because we need to know who else is out there in Texas. So this is brought to us by Get Dat Shot. Message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram for media coverage at Bunkerfest or at NXL. He will be there at the full series for NXL and at the full series for Bunkerfest. So if you're heading to NXL in a week and a half, or if you're heading to Bunkerfest, hit him up and he'll get you covered on photos and videos. Are there anybody in Texas, either teams, players, brands, projects that have caught your attention lately? So who in Texas paintball do you think deserves more recognition for what they're doing?
I think for sure, I don't want to sound biased, but TKO has put in a lot of work, but also for sure Tribe. Tribe is just amazing divisional team, won so many events last season, and now they're going to start off as D3. And Tribe's always been one of those teams that, in addition to TKO, that's played against us on the box and really helped us with a lot of pointers and tips and things like that. But definitely, yeah, look out for Tribe. They're going to come out swinging. They're really hardworking, really dedicated. And one brand that really did catch my eye is Welts from Scott Stewart. So shout out to Welts. He's just making amazing cozy products. I just bought a huge sweater from him, and it's my favorite sweater. I wear it all the time, wear it to the field, and he's just doing good things.
Yeah, well, shout out to Welts. Shout out to TKO and Tribe. I mean, Tribe, they dominated Division 4 in NXL this past year. Had one of the more dominant Division 4 seasons that I can remember. So yeah, they've been doing great work. I think they're going to continue to do well. So yeah, looking at the chat to see if we have any more questions. Oh my god. Okay. So we'll get to this one in a second. Okay, another question. So from Sanchito Papacito, I've seen the candles. Are they for sale?
They're for sale. Not soft launch, probably in the spring. Soft launch, but I got you. Just hit me up.
I'm pretty sure that was Alex on TKO.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out Alex.
Great guy.
All right. Question from Omar. He says, "Who's your favorite TKO player, and why is it absolutely not Alex?"
Me. Oh, I'm just kidding. Honestly, man, all the guys are freaking great. I mean, every time I play with them, it's been awesome. I don't have a favorite. I can't choose a favorite. Maybe it's a secret, but
Good answer.
Can't give that away.
Man, you're not at all like when I had my episode 2 episodes ago. That someone asked me who my favorite Titan was. I just let it rip. Broke a lot of hearts that day.
Who was your favorite Titan? Who was it?
I said it was Josh. And I actually posted a video on my personal Instagram there. We had a moment in practice the other day where I wasn't playing the point, but he was over in the snake corner and he's pushing into his bunker, and the bunker's about to like fall over forward. and I just took one for the team, and I was holding it up from the other side so it didn't fall over on him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I'm gonna have to go and look for that.
It's a good one for sure. All right, so last question in the chat again from Alex. What is your favorite NXL memory off the field?
My favorite NXL memory off the field. Man, there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. I can't even think. I just, honestly, all the moments I've spent with Vibe off the field has been the best moments, whether it's in the car, swerving through traffic, almost dying, or if we're in the hotel, pushing beds together so we can all hang out, or, having dinner. It's just hanging out with the Vibe outside of paintball is always just one of the best experiences for me personally. But I would say my number one, nope, that's on the field. Off the field, yes, just hanging out with my team is always a good time. I can't even think of one specific experience that was the best.
The best moments are off the field.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the ones that stay secret.
There's so many, you can't just pick one, I feel like.
Yeah, I think one of my, kind of going back to the whole filming your practices thing, because I'm the guy that edits all of our footage together and tries to cut out all the dead time just so it's like more efficient whenever we do go and review it. But my favorite moments are just whenever I'm going through and I just hear like just random chirps in between points, or whenever someone just like starts staring into the camera and starts,
Yeah, you're like our Lauren Salinas. Lauren is always filming us doing stuff, making the edits, catching the funny moments. That's great.
Oh, cool. So Lauren's the one that manages y'all's social media and stuff?
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Cool.
She's not managing it, but she's just always, filming and catching good times, making cool edits. Love Lauren.
Very cool. Yeah. Social media it's not an easy job, I've discovered. You got to be very, very diligent and also just know the right times and ways to post and things like that.
For sure.
One more thing in the chat from Ray Burns says, for her, it's riding with Zoe and him threatening to push cars out of the way while zooming. Dude,
yeah. That was some good times with Zoe. Gonna miss you, Zoe. Shout out to Zoe. That was our coach from the last season. He just had some personal things going on for this season, so we won't have him. But in spirit we will, and he's great.
Gotcha. Shout out to Zoe. All right. So this last one is brought to us by Compete. Message him on Facebook or Instagram. Mention In the Pits for 10% off of your order of soft goods. So do you have any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I really just wanted to just give a huge shout out to, again, the Luke House, to Paintball Fit, to our coach Rich, and my girls that are always there. We're going through this thick or thin, ride or die, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So just shout out to them for just being awesome teammates, awesome friends, and then lastly also shout out to Ben, just getting me into this and being my biggest supporter on and off the field. I really couldn't do it without him. So yeah.
For sure. Shout out to Ben as well. Having 2 pro paintball players in the family up there. He's something great. Very few people can say.
Yeah.
Actually, one more question in the chat from BEM Raps. This is Brandon's wife. So he asks, she asks, do you have a lucky charm that you play with? Something that you can't play without.
I do. I'm not wearing it right now, but I have a lucky jade necklace that my mom had given to me when I graduated and finished my undergrad. But she had given it to me. She didn't tell me it was lucky, but I got that necklace. I played in that inaugural event. We won. I got MVP, which is cool. And then fast forward to Florida, we won. So my mom called me and was like, that jade necklace is really lucky, right? And I was like, no, but thanks for letting me know. So now every time I play in XL tournaments, I have to wear that necklace that my mom got me.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
See, so that pretty much does it, y'all. Brittney, thank you so much for your time, and everybody online, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to go follow Brittney. That's at bvang_g on Instagram. So that's 2 G's and then an underscore at the end. What other guests would y'all like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live weekly here on youtube.com/@inthepitspaintballpodcast, and recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. I want to give a shout out to my partners and sponsors, FUAthletics, Get That Shop, Paintball Kumite, Compete, and Hustletown Paintball. Again, special shout out to you, Chris Rangel, for the sick tech tee. I've done my best with the water bottle. I know a couple of weeks ago I posted just a request for stickers so that I can highlight anybody in Texas. I've tried to hold up the water bottle at different angles every time I've taken sips just to get everybody in here. So water bottle's coming along quite nicely. Oh yeah.
We're going to send some Vibe and Hydra stickers.
For sure. I'll take them all.
Gotcha.
All right. So we will see you all next week. Yeah, and thank you for coming on. So we will see you next week for episode 38. We will be joined by Vince from Let's Talk Paintball. You may know him from the Facebook stream of the NXL semi-pro and WNXL field. He's usually on that, and we'll get his thoughts as we're leading into the first NXL event of the year. So we will see y'all then. Brittney, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me again. It was great.